Hey, welcome back to DIY Willy. Today, well, I'm going to start a new project, another project. Yes, I know it always sucks that YouTubers have all these different projects going on without finishing them. The Razor is an ongoing project. It's a very time consuming. There's so much work that needs to be done in it. I do a little bit here and there, trying to knock out some of the small pieces that need to get done. So in the meantime, I had a little surgery here a couple of days ago, so I can't get to work on the Razor. So I thought it'd be best if we could get to work on Briggs. I was gonna work on Briggs. Where's Briggs? And that guy just takes off and runs. Where is he? He didn't want to be worked on today? He's hiding somewhere. Let me see if I can find him. Biggs! Where you at, Biggs? Wait. No, Biggs. You can't power the Baja. I don't think so. How did you get that clutch on you? How did that clutch even fit? Biggs, how did you do that? You need to get out of there and get back on the table. You're getting taken apart. It's time for a rebuild, Biggs. All right, let me get him out of there and get him back on the table where he belongs. I don't know what's going through his head that he thinks he can power the Baja. But he needs to be rebuilt, refreshed rather. New rings and such, clean the valves. I got new valves, new springs, everything. We're just gonna clean them up, get rid of the broken governor and repaint them and get them looking good. And then maybe we'll talk about riding in the Baja. But for now, Biggs, I don't think so, brother. So I've got Biggs back on the table. I got to get the clutch off of it. I got to take it apart. We talked about it a minute ago, what I was going to do. We'll just go over it again. We're going to disassemble Biggs completely. We're going to rehone the cylinder. We're going to check the rings, install new rings, clean up the piston, put in the new billet rod, get rid of the governor because the governor in this one is broken. You'll see when I get the side cover off. And I don't want those pieces floating around in there. It could become a problem. I've got new valves. We're going to clean up the head. We're going to lap the valves. I don't have guides. Maybe I should have got guides. We'll see how bad they are, but we're just going to run with it. Yeah, we're going to lap the valves. We're going to port and polish the head or the block, whatever you want to call it on a Briggs. We're going to paint all the engine, all the cooling tins, everything, clean everything up. Maybe you might think of a new carburetor. I don't know. But it's definitely worth a shot. We're going to make Briggs run like new. Briggs ran good anyway. It was one of my favorite engines on the mini bikes. It's just great to ride, always dependable, always started on the first pull. You know, we're just doing this just because it did have a lot of blow by and a lot of leaking of oil and everything. So it's just time to freshen it up. So yeah, let me get this clutch off. We'll start taking it apart, saving all the pieces. We may get some new hardware here and there. I don't know. But we'll just check it out as we go. I've already drained the oil. And yeah, I need to get a box to put all the parts in and hardware in so we can keep it all together. But it's time to get to work on Briggs. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. I got parts over here stacking up, piling up everywhere for this one. And yeah, time to do it. Get it busy on it. Get it all taken apart. Continuing getting things apart here. We'll get this off. I'm not quite sure. I think I'm gonna have to use a puller on this. I'm not sure. But let's see. See if we can get the coil off. That's a 1/4 inch socket. Don't drop my socket. Come on, Willy. Get with it. See if we can get the coil off. Oh, need a battery. There's the coil. Have that put away. Look at all this baking soda is everywhere. Or this might be the glass bead. I'm not sure. but there's a lot of it everywhere. It really made a mess. What else we got here we can take apart? We can get the oil. Is that a 1/4 inch also? No, that's definitely not a 1/4 inch. Well, that one is. Let's see, what else we got here? Let me get some more hardware, or more tools, and we'll get this job going a little faster. Getting all the tools out. This one is 5/16. That'll get this off. That'll get that out. Let's see, we should have a towel here handy to kind of clean it off. I don't want to make an oily mess yet. Yeah, that O-ring actually looks pretty good too. I thought I was going to need to change that, but that looks pretty good. Now, so many sockets. Okay. Try to keep as much of the hardware together as I can. Looking good. Looking good. I need to get a puller and pull this flywheel off. I think I'll do that next. So I got the flywheel loose. Stuck this behind there. Put the nut back on. Gave it a quick hit with the hammer. And it came right off. Just like we do with the other engines. I tried to use my puller, but I didn't have a bolt that was long enough or short enough to fit the holes. It comes with holes here that you could use a puller on it, but like I said, I couldn't find the right bolts to use, so I did it the other way that we always do, and well, it worked out fine. So now Briggs is broke down to the point where I bought it pretty much, and I want to take a look at this head. I want to get this off and get in there and see what needs to be done. Well, I shouldn't say what needs to be done, but how everything looks inside. I don't know what the torque is, or if this will have enough power. Oh, it does. I need to get a different wrench for that one. Deeper socket. I'm going to probably cut this off so that I can use it as a regular. That'll work. It's a 13mm, but it will work. Now let's get these bolts out. Oh, they're all the same length. I don't know why I was thinking they're different lengths. It's my first time really working on a Briggs and Stratton like this. I really thought they were going to be different lengths. They're not. You know, they have ARP bolts for this too. That would be kind of nice to have. That would be really nice to have. Get this cover off. Add it to our spare parts. Let's see. Here we go. I think Briggs was running a little bit rich. Look at that. But he was running, man. He was running good. We're going to get this all cleaned up and put together right. Look at those little tiny valves, man. Briggs, buddy. We got to hook you up, brother. Let me get this one off. That was a 1/4 inch. Get this shield off. Like that. Put some of this stuff on the floor. Looking good, Biggs, looking good. Exhaust valve is up. Now there's a process in here where they call cutting the eyebrows or something like that, where they kind of open this area up inside here. We're probably not going to do much because it's not, I don't know if it really be that much efficient, but we may grind it out a little bit, just kind of clean it up. That's way down the road. Piston feels pretty good in there. Yeah, Biggs, looking good, brother. Oop, got the key right here. I don't want to lose that key. Now, let's take a look at the side cover. Okay. There we go. These are all the same size? Yep. They're all the same size. That's good, good, good. Put those down there. Yeah, let's see if we can get this thing off of here. I got a rubber mallet here. Let's see if we can get it off. Oh, it's falling out, Biggs. See? These are the parts of that governor I was telling about that's all broken inside. Just falling out, randomly falling out of there. Now, I didn't want that stuff in there, get stuck in there and tearing things up. Oop, there's more stuff dropping in there. Oh my. Oh my. What the heck? That thing really came apart. Look. That's the governor right there with all the mechanical pieces. And wow. Take a look inside. All the pieces are at the bottom. I was running this engine like that. That's not good. That's why I wanted to get rid of all the governor pieces and get this thing taken apart. Look at that plastic here. I have a new cam that's all steel to go in there. I think it's a 944 or a 994S or S44, well, something like that. All new gaskets. Man, we're gonna make Briggs like new again. We're gonna rebuild them. We're gonna call it the $600 engine. Kind of a play on $6 million man. This will be the $600 engine. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this out of here. How does that come out? Anyway, so we pretty much got it broken apart. We checking things out. I mean, it's really pretty clean in there. I've been running Royal Purple oil in it since I got it, but we're gonna get it completely disassembled now and everything taken apart. Now I need to figure out how to time this thing because, well, I've got the book how to do it, but I've never done that on a Briggs. So when I don't see like the same kind of marks, well, there's a dot there. Let's see if I run it around. Does it line up with something on here? No, it does not. So it's not that. Where is the mark? Well, you would think it would be that mark. Trying to see something that might identify timing. That would be it, but there is no mark there. We're going to be trying to research that and figure out how to put that cam back in before we pull it all out and wonder why. Because right there would be top dead center, both valves closed. So, yeah. See if I can clean this up a little bit, make it easier to work around. Taking a look inside Biggs down here. There is some gray looking goo in there. All down here in the bottom of the case. I'm sure it's aluminum shavings or some kind of grit. But the Royal Purple is purple. But there is a lot of something down there. And we will definitely get it all cleaned up before putting it back together. This glass bead is becoming a real pain in the butt. Glass bead got everywhere. I didn't realize there was so much of it all over the engine. Oh, mellow out there, Biggs, mellow out. There you go. We got it all cleaned up. I gotta get a vacuum and get rid of all this glass bead. Blow it on the engine, get rid of it, make it easier to work with. It's making a mess right now. All right, so I've been working on it on Briggs. I've cleaned it all up, getting it ready to completely disassemble it. I still have all the parts kind of out of order. I need to find me a box and put the parts in it. Yeah, I've got parts on the floor. Of course, I've got Biggs up here on the turntable, and I've got a bunch of stuff scattered around the tabletop. So I've been looking for when I take this thing apart for the timing. And from what I gather, there's a little dot right there. I'm assuming that's a dot. It's not very clear. I don't see any other marking on here. And then I have this little notch right here coinciding with that little tab down there. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see, put some light on it. Not really. Yeah, there we a little bit. That little tab right there with this notch and that dot. I'm assuming that's the timing. As I rotate the engine, if I put the dots together, the marks, it's not at top dead center. However, if you rotate the engine, it's going down and coming up on exhaust stroke. See that? Kind of hard to do. Well on hand. Then it's going down, coming up, or going down on the intake stroke, coming up on the compression, top dead center, going down again as it fires, then comes up on the exhaust. So that looks like it's in the correct time. I really wanted some clarification for this before I take it all apart, because I really couldn't find any definitive markings or information that really said it. But some said that there was a mark, an arrow or something on the crank that you could line the timing marks up with, and the others said there was a mark on the gear. Now there's two types of marks on these gears. One's an oblong shaped O, and then one is a perfect zero or O or dot or whatever you want to call it. But I seem to have the round one. It's not oblong. So this one's pretty definitive. I can understand that one now, being that there's lots of little build marks on here, but there's so many of them, like, that can't be one of those. It's got to be that. So I think I've got it figured out for the timing. And I think we'll be okay once we take it apart to do all the work to Biggs that we need to do. Now, a little history on this engine that I've been looking up, because people have asked me questions. Is that a 5 horse or is that a 3.5 horse? Well, it's a 5 horse. And it's a really small 5 horse, because nothing for the 5 horse that I bought fits. I originally bought a billet flywheel, a billet rod, the billet side cover with the bearing, and that new billet 94SS cam. None of it fits. None of it fits this case. None of it. I did return the side cover already. Luckily, I got my money back. The billet cam from Dyno Cams, I've had that so long, they're not going to take it back in a special order. I'm stuck with it. The billet rod, same thing. I've had it so long, they're not going to take it back. I'm stuck with it. Yeah, wasted good amount of money. So maybe I'll look for the right size 5-horse Briggs so that I can use those parts. Maybe it'll be another engine build in the future. I don't know. I've got a lot of engines. I don't need any more engines, but I don't know. Maybe I've got those parts. I don't want to just let them sit in a box. All the other stuff I bought it according to the model number of the engine from suppliers, and I've double checked everything, and everything seems to be fine, except maybe the valve springs may not work, and maybe the lifters. They may not fit because they're for the 5-horse also. I forgot about those. But I have the new valves, which I've already verified that they are the right valves. I have new piston rings, which I ordered from the model number of the engine. And I have the lifters, but I don't know if they're going to work yet. We'll find out. The cam, I'm just going to have to reuse the existing cam. And the rod, I'll just have to reuse Big's original rod. Just maybe make sure it's cleaned up, make sure there's no gouges in it. Maybe I'll buy a new one if I need to, or I don't know. Hopefully this one's good. Big's, like I said, Big's ran great before. It just had a lot of blow-by and smoked a little bit, and it needed refreshed. So this engine, as we were saying, is a model 09A413 type 0202E1. And the engine code is 04317YA. Now the YA is where it's made, and well, I don't know what that abbreviation is short for. Now the 04317 means that this engine was built March 17th of 04 is what I get from that code. And this engine came from a Craftsman single stage snowblower. So anybody who's asking me those questions about, is it a 5-horse or a 3.5 horse? It's a 5-horse, but it's just a really, really small one, which is fine. I mean, when it's in full dress, it looks good. So now that we've got past some of that, I also have an aluminum cover that goes over this with threaded fittings for the barbs, but I may have to make my own if the one that I bought doesn't fit, because this is a small case, remember, a small block. But anyway, back to other topics. When I started making this video, I realized that the first part of taking it off, the shroud, the carburetor and all that, I didn't film it, or I lost it or something. And you know, I got the manifold off, and what I talked about was the hardware and the fact that it had I made some washers here to make it fit, because when I first put this on, it didn't seal tight against the head, and it wound up with an air leak, and it was a runaway. It was running super high RPM and running crazies, burning tires and all kinds of stuff. So I immediately would shut it down. I figured it out to be the air leak right here on the intake, and once I fixed that, it ran perfect. No carburetor adjustments necessary. Now I'm using a this is a PZ19, I believe, or PZ20, I don't remember, but this is what I was using. You can see by the piston top, it's pretty dark. There's a lot of fuel in that. So yeah, this I could probably step down to a 19 maybe and still be okay. What I would like to get is a new nibby. This is the one off of my 224 build. This is a 24 millimeter, but I can get down to a 17, I believe, millimeter in this carburetor, and I think I'd be fine with a 19, and it would just look really nice on there, you know. So we may do that. They're not that expensive. We may do that, even though we're keeping the stock cam and the stock rod, all that kind of stuff. The governor's shot, we already know that. There's pieces of it over here. So we're not going to have a governor, and we risk blowing up this engine. But if we keep with the stock springs, then maybe we can get valve float and kind of have like a mechanical governor in there, you know. Else. It may have a mechanical governor, is what I'm trying to say. If this type of engine has valve float, like the big brothers there, the 224, or the overhead valve type engines. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's the plans that we have so far for Briggs. I had originally said before that it was going to be a $600 engine. Well, it's not. I have $600 invested in parts, probably, but they're not going to go on this engine. So this would just be Briggs the Briggs, hanging out. I'll refresh them, put them back on the mini bike, and we'll run them. I'm going to see if I can get different size plugs that look better. And I'm going to clean up the block, you know, some of these sharp edges, get rid of them, smooth them out. And, you know, some of this stuff around here, we're going to plug their governor hole and just get it ready, get it all nice and smooth, paint it up. I had once said, man, Spike's being loud, I apologize. I once said that I wanted Briggs to be like an orange or yellow or green or some other color. But honestly, I'm really liking the black and red that I have here. And I just might make that kind of like the DIY Willy thing, you know, it'll have black and red, the same color combination I can do on Briggs. So I think it'll look really good. I really just want to make a good, nice showpiece engine. It'll run good in the mini bike, and well, it'll look good when it's on the shelf too. The 224 is a little bit dusty right now. You can see that it's been sitting here for a while, but yeah, it looks nice, and I think Briggs will look good that color combination too. Now the 79cc is just black and, you know, rusty gray, but I'm gonna do the same thing to the 79cc that I did to the 224, and we'll do the Briggs. We'll make them all the same color, and that'll just be DIY Willy's colors. So I think that'll work out really nice. I think it'll look good. I really like that engine, how it looks, and it fits the bikes. You know, the bikes are that color combination, so I think that's what we're gonna do, and that's the plans for Briggs. I'm going to get started on it right away. I want to try to sandblast this block, the head, everything. I want to make sure it's all good and clean, smoothed out like I said, and painted and looking good. And well, we can't do as much as what we thought we could, and we're not going to really have a high performance engine because we just can't use those parts that would protect this engine from grenading. They're all too big, they don't fit. So yeah, with that said, so if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. That way you make sure you catch up on all the Briggs build series that we have going on, and any of the other engines and other work that we do. And well, I'll see you next time. Bye.